Hi everyone, I'm Molly and welcome to your practice. Today we're going to do a mid-length class, 20 to 30 minutes, some mellow movement to find some safety and groundedness in the body, but also some fluidity and grace. So set up your space, take a moment, grab whatever props you need. I'm going to use a bolster. It's really nice to bring the ground up to you and just kind of feel supported in that way. You could also grab a couple of blocks and then take a moment to arrive into whatever little nook in your house or outside that you have that you're practicing yoga. Maybe you put on some music or light a candle or light some incense, something to separate your yoga practice from the rest of your day and really bring your senses into the here and now so you can tune yourself in and be present. All right, we're going to get started in a tabletop. Bring your hands out a little bit wider and more in front of your shoulders, and hips are stacked over knees. Feel a nice widening of your palms on the mat, a lengthening from the crown of your head down to your tailbone, and then toes can be untucked or tucked, whatever's more comfortable for you. A couple shifts forward and back or side to side, just arriving into your body. This is my first movement of the day. Maybe it's in the morning for you as well. Maybe you're doing this in the evening. Just right away paying attention to how your body feels based on just what's going on. And knowing that it's okay that it shifts and changes all the time. Let's start to take a little tiny cat-cow just with the pelvis. So as you inhale, lift your sit bones up to the sky. Soften your low belly down to the mat. And as you exhale, reverse the motion, curl your tailbone down and round your sacrum up towards the sky. Inhale, a slow unraveling of your spine. Exhale, a slow curling and compressing in. You could close your eyes here, see if you can really differentiate just pelvic movement. A couple more rounds. This is a way that we can feel really kind of calmed and supported by pelvic rocks. And we'll start to make the movements bigger in just a moment. One more inhale. Pelvic bowl tips forward. And exhale, hug your belly in. Pelvic bowl rolls back. Good. So you can stay here or start to make the movements a little bit bigger. You could even inhale, tap the tops of your feet into the mat and drag them forward a little bit. As you do so, sit your hips back towards your heels. Stay lifted through the sit bones and push the ground away so the back of the heart is spreading. So it's like a elastic, ready movement here, but still a lot of points of contact on the mat. And then maybe you start to wave the spine forward towards your tabletop, taking some rolling cat-cows. Inhaling to arch the spine and exhaling to round and shift forward. And if you'd like, inhale, drag the tops of your feet, sit back, hips back to heels. Exhale, wash forward, and then eventually bend your elbows. Find a cobra. So the thighs could be lowered, the belly could be lowered. Could be really as gentle as you want here. As you inhale, tug the crown of your head up and the heart forward. Pushing as little as you need into the hands, staying active through the back body. And exhale, push through your palms. Child's pose, hips to heels. 3 more breaths. Experiment with what intensity, with what lifting or lengthening feels right for you. If you want the full version, we're going from child's pose, rolling forward to a cobra. If you want to stay with your pelvic cat-cows, just warming up the body. Let's go one more round. Next exhale, land in your child's pose. This is a good place for a prop if you'd like to slide a bolster between your inner thighs or maybe under your belly. Soften your belly down, rest your forehead to the mat. Take your knees as wide as you need with your big toes connecting in the center. Give yourself a moment to feel supported and soft, knowing that you have props in the ground and the earth underneath you, meeting you. And take up a lot of space here. The option to close your eyes and trace your breath moving in and out of your nose, softly expanding the body, the rib cage, the belly, down to the pelvic floor. One more breath in, check in instead of tuning out. Let's find a little bit more movement. So if you need any final little warm-ups, or if you just need to pause and linger in stillness for longer, please do. Let's come to Vajrasana, heel sit. So you could use a prop here. Again, we're just sitting on our heels, but if you want to bring a prop underneath the hips, that's great, or between the hamstrings and the calves. Good. Press through your shins, drive your hips forward. Inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. As you exhale, let's kind of curl the fingers around each other and bend your right elbow. So left hand is on top, right hand is on bottom. A little bit of a side stretch over to the left. Right elbow is pointing up to the sky. And we're finding some opening through the right rib cage, grounding down through right knee, and lifting up through your right elbow. Inhale to inflate the right lung with breath. Exhale, lean over to the left into your side stretch. Heart is staying open. And then switch it out. Inhale, arms to sky. Stretch long. Exhale, curl your fingers. This time right on top, left underneath. Bend your left elbow and pull your right elbow down to the ground like there's a magnet there and a magnet up to the sky. So instead of really collapsing down to the right, we're staying lengthened in our side stretch. Another breath or two to open up your gills on the left side. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, fingertips lengthen up, straighten your elbows. And exhale, side bend over to the right. One more time on each side. You could start to bring the pelvis into it and kind of load up by drawing your hips back and then spring them forward as you side stretch over. And one more time over to the right. Load your hips back and drive them forward. Good. Sit hips to heels. Find your kneeling posture. A couple rounds of cat-cow as you inhale. Slide your hands up towards your hip creases. Lift your heart forward. Drop your head back and soften through the front of the belly. Exhale, slide your hands forward, round through the back body, and tuck your chin into your chest. Close your eyes, let this movement between cat and cow feel fluid and feel in touch with your own body. You can always take organic, non-linear movements if you want to circle the rib cage or do any twisting. We're here for 3 more breaths. Maybe you start to incorporate those little pelvic tucks again. Working with the intention of staying safe and fluid in your body and your system. Moving as a unit between phases of effort and phases of ease. Good, finish up remove your prop if you have it. This is a good place for a couple blocks at the top of your mat if you have them. Bring them wide, and regardless, bring your palms wide and your feet wide behind you. Tuck your toes and glide your hips up and back to a downward facing dog, but we're taking up more space than usual, feeling like we have plenty of room to work with our bodies. And bend your knees as much as you need to keep the low back long, and lift your sit bones up to the sky. Feel out your downward facing dog for the day. Another familiar posture that can feel very different depending on any exercises we've done, how our sleep is, how our energy is, any emotions kind of making their way through the body. If you want to stay in stillness, that's a great option. If you're ready, we'll start to take some rolling waves. Inhale to lift your heels, round through the back body, and shift forward to plank pose. As you exhale, bend your knees a lot. Glide your sit bones up and back, downward facing dog. Spinal wave, inhale, ripple forward from down dog to plank. And then one movement into the next. When you get there, knees bend, glide your hips up and back. And let this feel good. It doesn't have to look a certain way. Your movements don't have to be big. How can you find that strong fluidity in your body in a way that's also honoring all the little nuances of you? Couple more. Close your eyes, get lost in the movement a little bit. And let your own breath pace you and lead the way. Last one, we'll meet up in downward facing dog. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. You could bring the blocks with you if you'd like. As you get there, let's take a little rest. And drip your belly down to your thighs. Crown of the head is heavy, neck is spacious. You could sway from side to side or maybe roll out the head and neck. And hands can be on props, or you could hold on to opposite elbows, or maybe they're resting on the ground. Next inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, fingertips to blocks or to your shins. Straight spine and tug the crown of your head forward. As you exhale, let the breath go. Forward fold. Circle chair, push down through your feet. As you inhale, roll up your spine one segment at a time, really slow. Tuning into all the sensations along the way as you stack your pelvis and your low back, your upper back. Shoulders, neck, and head are the last to unfurl. Open up at the top as you stand. And then exhale like someone was karate chopping your hips backwards. Hinge at the hips and cascade your heart back down. We'll cycle through these two movements. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, flat spine. Exhale, fold and release. Push down through your feet. Inhale, circle chair. That really organic, fluid movement as you come to stand. And then let it just move and transition into the next as you exhale and fold back down. You can make this as funky as you'd like. Let it feel good in your body. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, let the breath go, fold down. Roll up your spine. Breathe in, heart opens at the top like you're blooming upwards. And then roll it with ease back down. One more time on your own. Eventually end up in Uttanasana. You could place your bolster between your belly and your thighs if you'd like, a little more support. Feel like you could traction out through your spine, like you're lengthening between each vertebrae. Feel anything melt downwards and through your fingertips and the crown of your head. And then eventually lower your knees. We'll meet up in child's pose again. Returning to a sense of inner refuge and rest here. Maybe you can rest a cheek down onto your prop. Close your eyes. Low and slow breaths in and out through your nose. And then rest your other cheek. And as you're ready, slide forward onto your belly. Let's come up onto our elbows for a Sphinx pose. Draw your elbows back towards your hips and thread your heart forward. And then bend your right knee, curl your heel in towards your glute. Kind of kickstand your left hand inwards so you can reach back with the right hand for the top of your right foot. For a quad stretch, this is a good place you could hook a strap around your right foot as well. Tuck your pelvis down. This can increase the sensation on the front of your thigh. Another breath here to soften into the hips. And then release your right leg long. Bring your right elbow down to the mat. And then bend your left knee. Reach back for the top of the foot or for the strap. And soften into your quad stretch. Notice if you're holding yourself up in any areas that you don't need to. Another breath here. Lengthen your left leg. Actually, let's take a windshield wiper. I think it feels good. Rest your forehead onto the backs of your palms and then bend both knees so the heels are pressing up to the sky. Then drop them right and left. Picturing windshield wipers just curving from side to side. For me, this always feels like a good release for my low back. Couple more. Then super gently roll onto your back. Bend your knees. Put your feet on the ground. And then take a few pelvic tucks, just like how we started. You can even put your hands on your hips, on the front of your hips, and then feel as you shift forward and back. Notice the point of contact of your sacrum kind of massaging into the mat. Maybe it's soothing for you. If it's not soothing, at least know that it's really good to be able to know how our pelvis moves in space because it affects so many other motions and activities that we do. So try to create a nice, smooth, rocking motion. Good. And then you can release the rocks. Push down through your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. As you drive your hips up and engage your glutes for bridge pose. And exhale, roll down your spine, hands land next to your thighs. Inhale, push through your feet, drive your hips up, Setu Bandhasana. Exhale, roll down your spine like you're lowering a pearl necklace, one segment at a time. And last one, lift up. And release down. Hug your knees into your chest. Hands can come behind your thighs or in front of your shins. Little rock and roll from side to side, massaging your low back. Then let your knees fall to the right. Left knee is stacked on top. Stretch your left leg long, or left arm long behind you. Your gaze can follow your left thumb as you find a spinal twist. And make it your own if you want to experiment with straightening a leg or taking some little half circles with the upper arm. Or find stillness. Close your eyes if that feels okay. Soft, slow breaths in and out through your nose. Feel them move down the whole length of your spine. And then roll your knees through center, switch it out. Let them drop to the left, right knee is stacked on top. You could have a prop between your knees or your thighs. Extend your right arm long. Follow with the gaze. And then any wiggles at first before you settle in. Another couple breaths. See if you can soften, feel supported. Roll your knees back to center. Take any final movements, stretches, sways. Sometimes like to bicycle out my legs. So placing one hand on one knee and just kind of pulling one into the chest and then the other. And then as you're ready, extend long into your Shavasana. Use as many props as you'd like. It's really nice to have a bolster under the backs of the knees. Take up space with your body. Find a comfortable position. And then settle in, close your eyes. Let your bones start to become heavy down towards the earth. Muscles are supple. And skin is wide and soft. If you feel scattered, if you feel distracted, you can bring your attention to the simple rhythmic breath, your natural pace. This very real reminder that your body is for you. Your body is a miracle. It does all of these crazy things every day without us even knowing. And if you'd like, we can start to visualize our breath moving out, in and out of our bodies like a wave. So you could start from the tips of the toes, and as you inhale, picture a steady but soft wave of water moving up the length of the body through the legs and the midsection, the torso, through the fingertips, up the arms, the chest and neck, all the way through the face and to the crown of the head. And as you exhale, that wave of water flows back out from crown of the head down to the tips of the toes. If you've been to the beach before, you kind of know the relative speed or intensity of most waves, or just the fact that they flow from one into the next, and see if you can visualize your breath doing the same. Soft and fluid. Couple more rounds of breath, inhaling from the toes to the crown of the head. Exhaling from top down. Feeling your body gently expand and make space for life force, for prana. And feeling connected with your body, feeling safe and fluid. And you can release any visualization of your breath and just rest in stillness. Soaking up any final remnants of peace and presence here. If you have time to stay longer, please do. If you're ready to slowly start the transition out, keep your eyes closed, but maybe wiggle your fingers and toes. And gently roll onto a side. Eventually push into your palm and come into a comfortable seat. You can use props. Just here for a moment to integrate, to start to feel our bodies again. Maybe noticing your energy, your system. Glue your sit bones into the mat and then reach up through the crown of your head. Inhale. Palms touch at center. Exhale, a little bow forward. Peace and gratitude for your practice, for your body, for a little bit of time and space. As you're ready, you can slowly slide your hands on your thighs, blink your eyes open, taking in the space around you. Noticing just how you feel, maybe hopefully a little bit more connected in your body, and how you can bring that out into the rest of your day, into your relationships. And I hope you feel great. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.